I just
It's time
posted
to
a
go.
picture on the Instagram. I'm ready now.
Well, we're live now, so that's good.
Hey,
Hey,
good morning.
you are looking down at the floor.
I am looking at the phone. I will hold it up there.
What are you doing?
I was putting the thing on the Instagram so people would know we're talking now, in case they forgot.
I think it's a bit late for that, friend. We're here now and we're actually live.
Well, it's not my fault that I don't know how to do these things in advance. I'm still an internet granny, doggone it. Good morning, welcome. Who are you? Why are we here?
Welcome. I am. Oh, who knows how I am? I mean, who knows how anybody is? Today, it is. My name is Jill Bates Moore. I am one half of the Dahlia Law Group team. And Dahlia Law Group is a small but mighty Black woman owned law practice in Oakland, California, where we do the work of legacy. And that is, to us, legacy is the value, the stories, the artifacts, the things of being people. And that's what we're talking about today. We use legacy and estate planning as tools to help us do that work. We use probate as a tool to help us do that work. We use litigation about legacy, about estate planning and probate to help us do that work. But the work is the work of legacy. And like I said, I am Jill Bates Moore. I am one half of the team that does that work. What's your name?
I'm Alicia Holland. I am the other half of the small but mighty team that does this work. If we have more halves, then our math don't work. So,
Well, today our math might not work, so we might not be counting. We might not be counting right. No, actually, no. I don't care what day it is. I'm good on a half. I'm clear. I'm clear on half.
well, all of my halves to be aligned to work for the same good and purpose. And so, of that, we can be confident.
Absolutely. That's my chapstick. Sorry about that. Um.
I was
So,
about to sing a song, but I refrained.
and for that I give thanks because I know exactly what you're talking about. Um. So today is one of those like off script sort of days, even though we did plan to be here. So today is Wednesday, November 4th. It is the day after Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, where the US just had its national election for president, for Congress. All the states had various elections for state and local initiatives, and it is votes are being counted, and all of that is happening. There's a lot of there's a lot of feeling. There's a lot of impact. There's a lot of after effects and during effects and future concerns and all of those things. And you know what? We're not talking about any of it today. That is not why we're
Nary a
here.
bit.
That is not why we're here.
Yeah.
We went back and forth about whether to have the live stream this week because our office is actually closed today. We closed the office yesterday so that people could vote without worry about work or being paid for work or any of that stuff. So yesterday we were closed, and today we are closed for a recovery day that is intentional. And we do you have an apology to give for that, Alicia?
You know,
Yeah, it looks like it's no.
check. My
So,
pockets are empty.
yeah. But ultimately, we decided to be here today Inspired in a real way by some conversations that we've had to have um, in our workplace and in the space of our work to remind others and ourselves that we're people over here. Like we're people, whole,
I too am a
actual,
people.
right? Say it again for the people in the cheap seats.
I too am a people.
Right. And so, um, sometimes we can get so deeply focused and so tunneled in our vision with work, right? What we identify as our professional work, that it can almost feel like a separate thing from the people who do that work, right? And the truth is, there isn't a whole lot of separation because as long as the people are required to do the work, then the people a are a factor. And so today we decided to just talk about peopling, to have an easy space. So if you have things that you want to contribute, things that you want to talk about, the floor is open. Please drop those questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, whatever feelings in the chat box, and we will. We did give ourselves sort of at least a loose format because y'all know we can talk, so we'll just be all over the place. Um, but we did give ourselves sort of a loose format. We popcorned some ideas. Alicia wrote them down, and I have a proposal, friend.
I got the list.
I have a
I brought the
proposal.
list. Yeah.
So I propose that we just pick a number because we're not going to talk about all the things on that list. It was more than a dozen things probably, but maybe we end up with a few topics, and since I don't know what order they're in on the list, maybe I'll just give you a number and that'll be the topic. That's my proposal.
I love it. Let me count them so that I will tell you what numbers to pick in between.
Okay.
And I'm just in my counting, I'm writing it
Okay.
so that I don't have to count every time.
Okay.
Okay, pick a number between. Oh wait, do we want to just start with our list or check in on how you doing?
No, we have to check in on how we're doing, but tell me how many numbers I'm choosing between. A number
One,
between one and what?
1 through 9.
Okay, excellent. So, before we get into all of that, we will do as we always do, and that is ask. How you doing? And we're really asking. We are asking each other and we are asking you. So, how you doing? Tell us in the chat box. Alicia, how are you?
I am hyper focused on things that bring me joy. And have been yesterday with the day off and today. So I skipped my morning walk this morning because I really wanted to sleep in and do like, make coffee and get back in the bed with it. So I took a minute to do that first thing this morning, which was lovely. And right now, the thing that has brought me much, much joy over the last 18-ish hours
Mm-hmm.
is a video that I saw on Instagram of one Miss Patti LaBelle gathering up this reporter who looked at her crazy.
Oh,
And
about the cupcake or the muffin or
yes,
whatever it is? Yeah, that was
I had
years ago.
watched
I
the video
remember that was
10
making the
times.
rounds.
This was my first time seeing
Oh,
it.
really?
And so I watched it and I was like, Oh my gosh. And then I watched it a few more times. And then just a little bit ago, I was looking at something else. I was like, oh, let me push the thing again. So I went in for two or three more
Oh
rounds.
my goodness.
So it brings me joy. So that is how I am. How are you?
I am okay, so today I am in green. I made another attempt, so I'm always on the hunt for a good head wrap style for my particular shape and size of head. And so this is my newest head wrap foray. We have a little tail today. I feel like I'm giving myself like black girl with a pearl earring, except it's black girl with the hoops. Um, but anyway, green is a this is a throat chakra. I mean, I'm sorry, a heart chakra sort of day, and green is sort of the color that sort of vibrates with that. So I am I am feeling deeply in a heart space today, and um and have and I'm choosing that it is well, and I'm grateful to be at choice about that, because that is its own privilege. That's how I'm doing.
Like,
Lisa, Lisa's here,
hey, Lisa.
and Lisa says she's doing well. She said that she has avoided so much election news, and even so, things still filter through. She is reminding herself of something that a wise friend told her, which is that I belong to myself first. And so she is sewing.
Good job.
Yay! I love it.
Love it.
Katrina's here. Hey,
Hey,
Katrina.
Katrina.
How are you, friend?
Katrina been watching the video with me.
Oh, goodness.
It's just so funny. And it's like you have to watch it a few times to
Hmm.
hear the words, but then you have to watch it some more because her facial expressions. It's like, I don't think I know how to roll my eyes that hard.
So the video that Alicia is talking about is a segment of a like one of those morning shows or something like that. And Patti LaBelle and Tyra Banks are hosting this segment. A woman has come and has brought some cupcakes. It's like a TV talk show or something like that. I think it might be the Tyra. It might have been from the Tyra Banks show, because she had a TV show, a talk show for a
True.
while.
Yeah, maybe so.
But anyway, this woman has come and has brought these cupcakes and is talking about, I think she was talking about how to make the cupcakes, how she made the cupcakes delicious,
Hmm.
but with fewer calories, or fewer fats, or whatever it is. I don't know. I tend not to remember things like this, because low fat and few calories to me is like antithetical to cupcakes. It's not even like, but anyway, everybody gets to choose their cupcake. So the lady is talking about her cupcakes, and she is doing it in this very bright and saccharine-y sort of way, and
All the sugar she took out the cupcakes was in the presentation.
ish, but also there is a certain like passive aggressive shadiness that she is kind of giving on in this delivery, with some of the feedback that she's giving. Anyway, Patti LaBelle picks up one of the cupcakes and is displaying it and demonstrating it to the audience, and says, "This is paper," on the on the cupcake. Hijinks ensue. I'm not gonna give a spoiler alert, because I'm not gonna give the spoiler. Just find the clip and laugh your face off.
I might have to repost that on my Instagram. So catch me in about 45 minutes and you can find it there.
Right. What's your Instagram handle, friend?
HRH Alley.
Okay, I'll put it in the comments. Um, but yeah, Katrina says she's on a quest to find the whole episode. Lisa says those cupcakes look like they were a hot mess.
Bad.
Okay, Katrina agrees with us that the cupcake lady's tone was condescending.
Very much so.
Oh,
She
Lisa.
had the nerve to touch Miss Patty.
It find the clip. Find the clip, have the discussion on Instagram. I'm gonna put Alicia's Instagram handle in
Because we know I can't like do that and this at the same
the
time.
comments. Yeah, I'll put it in there.
Like once we're done, I promise I will.
Okay. Alicia, do I have your consent to put your personal Instagram handle in the comments?
Yes,
Okay.
that is fine.
All right. So, oh wait, Lisa says it's not Coyote ugly like the movie that Tyra was in. Them jokers were cupcake ugly.
Yup.
Oh no! But the cupcakes were really bad. They were
Really?
ugly. They were. But anyway,
That was
The-
delicious.
the clip is hilarious. The clip is hilarious. So, okay. Is it time to pick a number? I pick four.
Between 1 through 9.
I pick four.
Number 4?
Yes.
Okay. So item number 4 is what are you reading for fun?
Oh, what am I reading for fun? Okay. We were talking about this. Hold on. Let me. Katrina said, can Patty be a patron saint while living? Yes,
100%.
absolutely. I don't know what the rules are for beatification of a person while they are alive, but I think that exceptions can be made for Patty LaBelle.
And Mother Maxine Waters.
Yes. Okay, wait. Let me write this note. When you all find the Patty LaBelle clip,
Oh, I bookmarked it so I can get to it with relative ease.
okay. Okay, so then the Patty LaBelle clip is on Alicia's personal Instagram. Okay. I am putting that in the comments now. Okay, what am I reading for fun?
Did we
So,
talk about the list and what we're doing here? Or are we going to do that later?
I thought we did. So, okay, so I thought we did.
I don't think we did.
All right, well, then can you do it? Because clearly I thought I was not successful in my doing it if I thought I did it.
So, as we promised that we are doing a special episode and taking the day off, and so, but we wanted to be here because since we are people too, one of the things that we recognize is that when we do this work, we show up as the lawyer people, and you don't necessarily get to see us as the people. And so we wanted to do that a little bit more. So what we are talking about is you're making the face like you don't like it.
No, it's not that I don't like it. I'm like, do we not show up as people? I think we show up as ourselves fully.
I think, well, we show up as ourselves, but we still show up as ourselves
In a
in the
specific
language
context.
of the work.
Yeah, no, you're
And
right.
so
You're right.
to give a bit of a wide out on what kind of makes these people tick and where we come from, and just to have a little lightness and fun and things that we do to take care of our own selves, we thought we would share that. So we came up with this list of the 1 through 9 list that we are talking about, that we're just picking numbers at random. Ooh, maybe for our next number, we can let somebody from the audience pick a number, to just kind of get into some of that.
Wait, I'm like, no, I don't get to pick. But
Yes,
I got
you
all
get to-
excited about picking.
Yes.
I don't
you
get to pick
number
anymore?
4. Yes, you totally get to pick.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, you pick.
It's like, don't take my picker away.
And so item number 4 with your first pick was what you're reading for fun.
Okay, so what am I reading for fun? Um, there is a teeny little bit of backstory here. Um, I have been trying to figure out um, a an evening routine, sort of a shutdown routine. If you are with us regularly, then you've probably heard me say in the past that I have had some bouts of insomnia, and that has happened off and on over the course of my life. But in the age of COVID, it has been a bit aggressive, and so I was trying to figure out some evening sort of rituals to shut down and that sort of thing. And one of the things, I mean, pleasure reading is indeed pleasureful for for me, but I wanted to manage the light from either a book light or like a Kindle or reading app or something like that when I'm trying to go to sleep, when I'm trying to shut down for the day. So I decided to try some audiobooks, which is kind of a big deal for me because I like to read the words, the concept of an audiobook. It's like a podcast, but not real time. It's just confusing to me. Anyway, so I went on a murder mystery hunt, and because October is the season for that sort of stuff for me. I don't know why those things are associated in my head, but they are. And so I stumbled across two sets of mysteries, and I devoured them. One I will have to look up and try to remember the name of, but I have it. I have it handy. The other is the Blanche White Mysteries. The author's name is Barbara Neely. I think that's her name. I hope I got that right. And the protagonist in these books is a curvy, thick black woman who is dark skinned black, and her name is Blanche White. She I absolutely love it. She is for work. She is a domestic worker in the homes of wealthy people, and when we meet Blanche, she is there's a situation. There's a situation, and she becomes sort of an accidental murder detective. And it is, if you like Miss Marple and black people with some womanist, black feminist commentary, and like, then those are all of the things that appealed to me about this series. I found it to be really engaging, the series to be really engaging and thought provoking and thoroughly entertaining. There are some characters in here. There are 4 books in the series, and I think they're called the Blanche White Mysteries. Author's name is Barbara Neely. So that's what I have been reading for fun. But now I finished the series, so I'm gonna have to find something else. But
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna find something else. But that's sort of my long-winded answer. Alicia, what are you reading for fun?
Yes, mine is equally long. So, welcome if you're new here. This is just us. So, there's that. Well, I just finished 2 books, um, and am into another, and then have a couple that are on the horizon that I just got to decide when. So the 2 that I just finished, one was a little heavier reading, but I am absolutely in love with it, and it was Eloquent Rage by Brittany Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Then
It's a good one.
the other one, like two opposite ends of the spectrum of the just finished reading because the other one was a romance novel.
Hmm.
And so
Listen,
that
do not
one,
poo-poo the romance novels here. No, we don't poo-poo
I will
them.
fight you. And so the book I just finished on the romance side is a book called Party of Two, and the author's name is Jasmine Guillory. And so it is one of the things I love about it. She has done, I think, 5 books, and that was the fifth one of hers that I've read. Um, but what I love is it is one of the few romance novels that is by a Black author, and she happens to be a lawyer in Oakland. And so when I am reading her books, like I see me, like I can see myself in this story. So I love that, and I just like the stories. They're good and are full of Black people and Black people things, which you don't often find in the genre of romance novels. And so I just finished that book as well. I just started a book called The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett.
Hmm.
And so I'm not far into that one. Like I'm less than, I think, maybe 50 pages at most into it, but have been enjoying it so far. And what's on the horizon is I have one book that I always read during the holiday season. And so deciding on when I'm going to start my holiday book. And then last year, I found another Christmas themed book that I was like, I enjoyed reading this so much that it needs to also be in my annual holiday repertoire. And so, and it's a small, like it's actually a book written for younger children, not quite YA, like just before you get to the YA books, young adult books. But it's just such a delightful little story. And I learned about it from a friend of mine who is older than me that remembers it from his childhood and was in tears describing it to me.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Because, like, just laughing at how hysterical it was, but remembering it that much from childhood, I was like, oh, I gotta find this book.
What's the book?
It is called The Worst Christmas Story Ever, I think is what it's called. So I can see it on my shelf over there, but it is like literally a book from the 70s, but it is hysterical.
Who's
And
the author?
it's on the shelf. While you
Okay.
tell me the next thing, I will look. I mean, I'll look on my phone on the Googles.
Okay,
Let me
wait.
put it
So
in.
I want to put the book notes in the chat. So it's The Worst Christmas Ever. Which Jasmine Guillory book did were
The
you
one
just
I
talking
just
about?
read was called Party of Two. If you just want random trivia, my favorite of her 5 is called Royal Holiday.
Okay, we need to talk about Royal Holiday.
Did you read it?
Hold on one second. You know I can't multitask.
You're right.
uh, how do you spell Brittany Cooper's first name?
Brittany. Okay, I got it.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
Okay, so it's called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. The author is Barbara Robinson.
So not called The
And
Worst Christmas Ever?
well, I don't know if I can show you this. This is why it's confusing. If you can see the
Okay,
way
got it.
of it reads. I'm like, it's either the best or the worst. I don't remember which one is crossed out.
Got it. Okay, got
But yeah,
it.
it is hysterical, and I am looking forward to reading it again.
Got it. So you have gone from, I mean, the, you have a reading tradition with that book. You have, I mean, you've gone
Oh, I didn't say my
Crunk
other one,
Feminist Collective,
right?
and which is Brittany Cooper, and Black Romance.
Uh-huh.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love
Well,
it.
my
It seems quite
other,
right.
and to add to my random here, the other book that I've had the holiday tradition since I've been a teenager is actually by Maeve Binchy, an Irish writer. And so Maeve Binchy. And the book is called This Year Will Be Different, and it's a collection of holiday themed short stories. And they are not all like everything ends with like turkey on the table, lights, and we sing kumbaya around the table. Like it's some of the holiday themed stories that actually look like what real people's holidays look like. But I read it for the first time as a teenager and revisited it again like maybe 10 or so years ago
Hmm.
and just like it. And so I read at least some portion of that every year in the holiday season.
Got it. Katrina is just started Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. Okay, can we just talk about the depth and the breadth and the thoroughness of Isabel Wilkerson's work? I mean, like, she is astonishing. It's it is amazing. Her work is amazing. And I have not started Cast, but I absolutely will be reading it. Um Katrina also loved The Chiffon Trenches by Andre Leon Talley.
Okay.
Yes. So we oh, Katrina, is that the one we started on Audible? I think it is. And I think I had the same issue with, to circle back to Jasmine Guillory and
Hmm.
Royal Holiday. I think I had the same issue with both of these books. So on your suggestion, I found Royal Holiday and read it. And
You know, like,
mm, 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 mm.
oh, oh, I
um,
adored that story.
and but there's a reason, and I don't think it has to do with the story. And yes, Katrina says that Andre Leon Talley's book is the one that we started together on Audible. Um, it's the voice on the audiobook.
Oh, I didn't read it on
Yeah,
audiobook. I read it like print. Or not
yeah,
print. I mean, I got it from the library, but the one where you're reading the physical
yeah,
book.
yeah. And the the actor who read the audiobook for Royal Holiday I mean, she had a pretty significant job to do because she was, and it was a solo actor
That's
reading it.
tricky.
So she had to read the main character, who is a Black American woman. She had to do the voice of the protagonist love interest, which is a Black British man. There was
And a
the
black British man of age.
right, and but then there was also some folks in the British royal family, which is a different, I mean, which can be a different accent altogether. So she had some heavy lifting to do. I think it was a tall ask for any one person, and
Yeah.
that I found that to be a little distracting.
I could
And
totally get that because for her books, I have read, I think one of them I listened to a piece of it in audiobook. I got it from the library and I must have signed up for both of them for whichever one showed up first.
okay,
And so I was reading it at the same time I was listening to the audiobook.
mm-hmm,
And after trying that for a little while, I was like, oh no, I prefer for these, I like reading it myself. The voice is distracting.
yeah. And then Andre Leon Talley's book, I think it was a similar thing. I happen to love Andre Leon Talley's voice. Candidly, I love just about everything about Andre Leon Talley because what's not to love?
That part.
But I don't want him to read me this book. Like,
Did he do the voice on the
he did.
audiobook?
He did.
Okay.
And and while I, I need to read the book myself. Like, I need to read the words myself. I don't want him to read me this book. So,
No, thank you.
but it's not because I don't love him, because I do. J'adore. So,
could
Um,
totally.
Lisa, what are you reading for fun? I
I
don't
know
know
you
if
reading something.
yeah, I know Lisa's always reading something, but there's a lot of reading for work. So I have a question. I know we need to pick another topic, but um,
We in charge of this thing. We can talk
how
about what we want to.
right? How does pleasure reading work for you? I mean, how important is it to you as a part of your personal care practice, as a thing that you find nourishing? How do you find books that you want to read, and how do you prefer to engage with them? Like, are audiobooks a thing, or is it more, do you need more paper books, or what? And before you answer that, Katrina just said Andre Leon Talley's reading of his book was amazing to her. The drama of his tones and inflections was everything. And so I think that's a really fair point. It really is, because I mean, he's talking, this is his memoir. So he's talking
Like,
about, he was there, you know?
it's hard to
So,
imagine Andre Leon Talley without drama. Like in
right.
like the way he
Right.
speaks, because like he talks
That's
about the
true.
most basic stuff, and
That's
it's
true.
like, oh,
That's true.
the
It,
drama of it
yeah.
all.
No, it's true. Okay, Katrina, now I'm rethinking it. Now I want to go back and give it another try, because yeah, I don't want to lose the drama. Because or the candidly, or the shade. so so there's that. But
Yeah, some
anyway,
things don't translate to the paper all the way.
exactly. Okay, something is happening back here. Okay, we'll have our little tassel. It's not a tassel with our tie up day. So I'm gonna put that back up there. Okay. So I was asking you all the things about books. So tell me all the things, please.
So, where it fits in and kind of taking care of myself, I think reading for me is one of those things that I am always reading something. It
Mm-hmm.
might not always be a book, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm always just kind of devouring things. And so when I am trying to really take a break from the news or just random stuff, then I find I lean into my books a bit more, because I like usually reading the news and headlines and just different articles and all kinds of just random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do read a lot of those things. I read some magazines, kind of have like a few magazines that I pretty regularly read, but
Mm-hmm.
even those sometimes, like, I won't touch them for a couple of months and then we'll come back to them.
Gotcha.
And so my books are kind of in there. So I was just thinking about that last night randomly, forgetting that this was even one of the questions on our list, and thinking about the number of books that I've read in like the last 4 months or so, and that I've read a lot more than I had been reading on the book variety in the months, like, right, the 4 months prior to that, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of in the mix with, I guess I think the thing is, part of self-care for me is having a lot of things that I have easy access to, so that I can dip in and out of whichever one feels like what I need in the moment. So whether it's painting or sewing or reading or something, like, just having it available to me all
Got
the
it.
time is the thing that's important. So that's like the how it fits in the mix. And right now I've been doing a bunch of library books, so that's one of the things that
Mm-hmm.
helps me pick, like, if it's available. And especially with the apps, a la like the Libby and Overdrive, so that I can get access to those books. And so some of what I'm going to read is influenced by being able to have it available that way, just because a girl's got a budget, and also like not having to run out and get a bunch of things. So I like to read them that way. Then as far as audiobook, it just kind of depends. So certain books I do not prefer on audio.
Mm-hmm.
So like my romance books, I like to read those for myself for the most part. Um, Other books, it just kind of depends. So for instance, Eloquent Rage, I read that on an audiobook and I didn't realize it, whether it was that that was what the library had available or I just accidentally put that one on hold. And so when it popped up and it came, I was like, oh, it's an audiobook. But in the end, it worked out because I had a couple of instances of car time. And so being able to listen to it was great.
Mm.
So that's how I got through it really, like just in a couple of days, because I just happened to have a few stints of being in the car. And so then that's when I really appreciate having the option of an audiobook. So I kind of like having both because sometimes, like when I was a kid, I was always the one that I always had a book with me. And so I loved when we were in the car and I couldn't drive because I'd be back there with my little book. And so sometimes as an adult having to drive, and I'm like, but how am I gonna read my book
Right,
though?
right.
And so the audiobook is a perfect solution for
It's
that.
true. It really is a great convenience. We have Katrina has a question. She wants to know what your magazine list is. You mentioned some magazines, and she's curious to know what those magazines are.
Yeah, so one that I read pretty regularly is Real Simple.
Hmm.
And for instance, the issue this month, I'm like, see, this is why y'all can be my people in some regards. The cover is this gigantic bowl of mashed potatoes with, you can see like the way they've swooped the little swirls
I
and you can see
can't.
the
I
little
can't with
bits
the
of
swooping
butter
swirls. I can't with the swooping swirls. No, no.
with the
It's
gravy. And
making my
then
head wrap lopsided.
it's got fall colored dahlias. And I'm like, oh, this picture is beautiful.
I cannot see. You see how my head wrap is falling off and getting lopsided. Um,
So that's one. Essence is one that I read pretty regularly as well. Right now, I am also reading British Vogue because Serena Williams is on the cover.
and Beyonce.
And yeah, and then there's also the Beyonce cover issue. So I want to get that one as soon as it's available as well. And I have an app, thanks to you, that I discovered. Well, I didn't discover it. You discovered it and told me about it. And it is called RB Digital. And so through that app, it works. I think you tie it to your library card, but it's a way to get access to magazines by using your library card. So, like, that's how I've been able to read British Vogue. Real simple. I get it. I actually have a subscription to that one. But those are the ones that I read pretty regularly. And then, because we run the gamut, I like the New Yorker a lot as well, and also People to get my good gossip stories.
Hmm. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Lisa says that she loves reading, recreational reading, using Audible because she can just relax and enjoy the book. Right now, she is reading one book for work, which is A Mercy by Toni Morrison. And she says she has a long list of recreational reading, which she has also shared with us. Ooh, Lisa, these are some good ones. So, Alexander McCall Smith, the number one ladies
Excellent.
detective agency
Excellent.
series. And I don't know if you can still get the show on demand on HBO, but Jill
Yeah.
Scott played the lead character in that in the series that was made from some of those books on HBO. Those are good, fun. Well, some of them are quite serious, but they're very engaging reads, and they're quick, and they make me want to go to Botswana. I told my husband we're going to Botswana.
The
She
show, too.
Yeah, she also recommended "We Are Never Meeting in Real Life" by Samantha Irby.
She's hilarious.
The 100-Year-Old Man Climbed Out of the Window by Jonas Jonason. I don't know about this one, Lisa. What's that one about? And let's see. She has some more suggestions, of course, which I love. Thank you, Lisa. The Family Fang by Kevin Wilson. Fool by Christopher Moore. Great House and the History of Love by Nicole Krauss, and Let the World Spin by Colin McCann. So those are all in the chat box.
Ooh, I have no shortage of search
I
options. I love
know,
it.
right? Wait, okay, wait, Lisa. Lisa is still giving us suggestions. I love it. Thank you. Hold on. Um, so two more books by Max Berry. They are called Lexicon. One of them is called Lexicon, and one is called Jennifer Government. Um, Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore by Robin Sloan. That one was on my reading list. Thank you for popping that up. I think that might be my next read.
I got a challenge for Lisa. Out of all of those, pick your favorite one.
That's
Like
not
if you could
fair.
only read one,
That's not
which one would it be?
fair. That's like asking somebody to decide which head of their child they want to chop off or something equally gruesome. Um, let's see. Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. The Thursday Next series by Jasper Ford, and The Radleys by Matt Haig. Okay, these are all, some of these I am absolutely familiar with, some of them are new to me. A number of them I have, well, ones that are familiar to me, a number of those I've read, and some I am looking forward to. This is no, this is great. This is working out for me. I think is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this question is working out in my favor.
I'm laughing in my head because I'm like, of course, like even though it was at random, the one that we pick is the reading one, and because we're all book nerds,
Right.
it's like,
Right. Um, oh, I also dropped the names of those apps in there. So RB Digital for the magazines, Libby and Overdrive for library books, ebooks or audiobooks, actually as well.
yep.
And yeah, and if you are a fan of documentaries and that sort of media and getting that kind of media from your library, Canopy is another app that will allow you to use your library card to check out those sorts of things. It's Canopy with a K. Lisa says that's enough suggestions, but she really loved these books and would reread them in a minute. And she is refusing to engage your question about favorites. You know that question stressed her out, right? You know she's sitting there wringing her hands like, why did you do that to me? Um, okay. Should we pick another topic?
Yeah, what's
All
your next pick?
right. Give me, you know what? In numerology, 5 is a number that represents change. Let's go with number 5.
What you watching for fun?
Oh, give me a break.
What's number
I
five?
I love that though. I don't know why I'm reacting so strongly. Um, what am I watching for fun, y'all? Ooh, this relates to a book as well. I watched
Look here.
um I watched the Queen's Gambit series on Netflix. It is about a chess prodigy, a fictional chess prodigy, who is, well, she's a prodigy as a young girl, but it charts her career in the chess world and her personal life. No spoilers, so I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts. But that one was a book by the same name, The Queen's Gambit, and I thought that that book was more recent than it is. I think I recently learned that that book came out in the 80s, and I thought that it was more recent than that. But in any event, my familiarity with the show came from the book being on my list of books to read. My list of books to read is a mile long, so I don't put too much stock in what's like on my list because everything is on my list. But but it's because they look good. They are, so you can put stock in my taste, but in terms of how long it's going to take me to get to read it, don't even worry about it. Um, and that was really engrossing. It was just, I think that it was really well done. And can I tell you? Well, I already have told you about the fashions. Oh, the fashions. Mm, lovely and delicious fashions. I have been on my inspiration board sketching stuff, and I do not sketch things. But some of you may have heard me mention at some point previously in the in the set of live streams that I sew as a hobby. So I make most of my clothes, including this green dress. Hey, Appleton. But
So cute.
Appleton is the name of the sewing pattern that I made this dress from. Hey, Megan, how are you? Megan is here. She says that she loved the Queen's Gambit, and she is watching Grand Army. Oh yes, that one's also on Netflix. This wonderful artist, his name is Fahamu Peku. He did some of the artwork for the character sketches for Grand Army. He is dope. His hashtag is Fahamu Peku is the shit. So that'll tell you some,
Any
some things
questions?
about him. But he really is though. So there's that. Um, but and Fahamu is, I'll put it in the chat. But yeah, so the Queen's Gambit, and one of my sewing friends shared with me yesterday early, because I went way down the rabbit hole on this, that the Brooklyn Museum has put together an interactive digital exhibit focused on the costumes, so the fashions of the Queen's Gambit and also the Crown, which I guess it's another series,
It's a Netflix show.
yeah, about the British monarchy. And I guess it has a new season starting soon.
Hmm.
But anyway, you can go and sort of navigate through the museum. It has a really great interface on mobile. The whole layered experience of this interactive digital museum exhibit is, I mean, it is dripping in wonderful. It really, really is lovely. Like the sound experience is great. Like the audio is beautiful. It is I mean, just the way that they were able to get the colors and the textures of the clothes so well represented. And then in with each of the outfits, you can see it in 360. You can actually sort of spin it around. There are close-ups for some of the details. There are interviews with the costumers, blah 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 blah. So if you love that sort of thing, then you're gonna love that. You can access it at thequeenandthecrown.com, and I will put that in the chat. But that's something that I have watched recently for fun. I think the next thing that I am going to watch is well, there's always a Great British Baking Show, so that's always on. But I don't even know when the new episodes are released. They're released weekly, but I don't know on what day, so whatever. But whatever.
Well, it's goofy because it's Netflix and it's one of the few shows where they do that weekly release
Yeah, the
business.
whole
Like,
serial
what?
thing. Yeah, it doesn't really work for me, but I'm spoiled. But the next thing that I am going to watch, I think, is a movie called The Cook Off. It is a Nigerian movie and focuses on this woman who is signed up for a reality cooking competition, I think by her son, and hijinks ensue. So
It sounds like it's
yeah,
gonna be hysterical.
I'm looking forward to that. So,
I love
what
it.
about you? What are you watching for fun?
So two things. One is a singular, one is a grouping.
Okay.
The singular is something on PBS. It's a show called The Trouble with Maggie Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just, it's funny, but it's got a little bit of a, not a dark spin to it, but there's some sort of mystery that I haven't gotten to yet. So I can't spoil it because I don't know what it is yet. But you're seeing snippets of it in the midst of all of the funny bits. And so you know something is coming, but a woman, like it happens very quickly in it, and it's actually in the previews. The town, like a small town in England, and the town busybody somehow ends up talking to a reporter who gets her drunk, and so she is telling all the town's business,
Oh, okay.
and it ends up getting broadcast in a way that everybody hears it and hears her telling it. And so all the town business, that is the stuff that everybody knew about but nobody really talked about, is now out in front and center. And so she's trying to fix it, and all the stuff goes wrong and awry, and just
Not
it's a
wrong and
mess.
awry. It's wrong and awry. Okay.
And so it's just like, oh, girl. Like, I find myself saying that repeatedly watching it, like, oh,
Aw.
thing.
Aw.
So that is one thing I've been watching. And then the other thing I've been watching, it makes me laugh because I know one of our things that we thought about when we were talking about the episode was like maybe doing like a little known fact sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed thinking, well, this could be my little known fact. And then I'm like, well, who am I kidding? Everybody who knows me for long knows this is true. So it's not that little known, which is that the holiday movies have started. They started on October the 23rd. And so I have been watching holiday movies. I usually
Of course you have.
wait until like either November 1st or like maybe a week before the Thanksgiving holiday break around to watch them. But in 2020, I was like, oh, October 23rd? Okay, I'm going to be there. And so, and so,
I have that song playing in my head. Y'all be there.
so I have been watching holiday movies and have the benefit of there's Lifetime, a couple of Hallmark channels, and then West Coast Advantage. There's an HD feed that you can get on, like I don't get it on my television, but I get it on my iPad. And the HD feed runs off of East Coast instead of West Coast.
Oh,
And
so you get it earlier.
so you can get it earlier. So like if the one that's on the West Coast channel is something I don't like, then I can jump ahead to the East Coast feed.
Great.
Or if I know that I'm going to be busy at that time when it comes on in West Coast time, then I can go early and watch it on the East Coast. But it expands my viewing option.
I'm here for an expanded viewing option. I'm here for it. I love it.
So yeah, I've been watching lots of holiday movies.
Megan says yes. She could have answered that question for you.
That's what it said.
You love your
Like,
holiday
it,
movies.
it seems like a little known fact, but the proof that it is not. So early in the pandemic, they decided to do like a special little like weekend marathon of the movies. It was like the end of March, 1st of April. And I
Mm-hmm.
think they called it because we all need a little Christmas, because that was when everybody was like, what the devil?
Yeah.
And so I think I got at least 4 people that know me from different areas of life that made sure to either text me or message me on Instagram with the ad posting to make sure that I knew about
You
it.
know what? It is good to be known. It is
Inconsistent.
good to be known. Yes,
I,
I'm here for
I
it.
got text messages. I got people that forwarded me the article, that sent me the post on the Instagram. It's like, my people know me. I feel loved and seen.
Indeed.
So
Indeed,
yeah, so
indeed.
not so little known fact as it turns out.
Just too much. Well, just like that, our lunch hour has flown by.
It sure has. But it
I
is. I said I was hyper focused on the joy.
Yeah, it has definitely been joyful for me. I hope that well, I know that I got quite a lot out of this. I have book suggestions. I have Megan, I'm going to check out Grand Army. It's a series about young people. That's as much as I know. But yeah, I'm going to check that out, and Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore. I think that's going to be my next read. So I clearly have gotten quite a lot out of this. What,
Oh,
what about you?
same. Like I have some books that are gonna be on my list that will be in the mix, and I want to check out the Queen's Gambit because I keep hearing the the term on that one, or not the term, but the recommendation on that one. And since if there's a whole museum exhibit about the fashions, then I definitely want to see it. And I'm also reminded I watched at least the first three seasons of The Crown and
Okay.
remember the fashion being great in it and kind of just got behind. And so to revisit watching that and going to the museum exhibits, because fashion, duh. Like this is one of, I think this might actually be the first episode of these that we've done that I have not been wearing something that I made during
Mm.
the episode.
Mm.
And that's because I had to wear my Black Women's Rest Matters shirt
Yes,
today.
it does. It does indeed. I told you before we came on, I'm glad that you're wearing that shirt. I can't fit mine. So Alicia and I have the same T-shirt, but mine is like a Winnie the Pooh fit now.
Not you.
It's just it does.
We gotta say bye now. You can't go anywhere from that.
Okay, bye. Thanks for
Oh,
being here. We'll see you next week on Wednesday at 12:30 Pacific time on this same channel. Thank you for taking time to just people with us for a little while. We really appreciate you very much. Bye.
bye.
It is. It's like